A very good afternoon to Miss Mulle and fellow viewers. My name is Clarina Nicholas and I'm from batch 31A.
A very good afternoon to everyone. My name is Muhammad Afiq. I'm from batch 31B.
So now we are going to look into our presentation slides based on common challenges that teachers face in classroom.
So let's look to the our next slide. Okay. First point. Students not listening to the teacher during lessons. So as we know, sometimes whenever the teacher is speaking, talking or teaching, some students are talking to their friends, using their phones, or maybe they are looking outside of the class instead of paying attention. Number two, students are not interested or motivated in the lessons. So the example is during an English lessons, students look bored. They show no interest. They do not answer the questions. One of the reason is because um, the students the students think the topic is too difficult for them, and they also think that the topic is not useful, especially in real life situations.
Okay, let's look into the third challenge that faced by teachers. The third one is disruptive behavior, such as talking out of turn, lack of attention, or conflicts between students. Okay, why is this occurring at the first place? Is because when teacher is conducting a lesson in the classroom, students are supposed to pay attention. But nowadays, students are way advanced than what we think. So teachers have to prepare on how to conduct a lesson based on their knowledge and based on their skills. The energetic levels that students have this generation is way too advanced than before generation. For example, teachers must let the students know if they are having their turn to speak, they need to put up their hands, raise their hands to speak whenever it's their turn. If teachers did not indicate this during the lessons, students will not know and the situation in the classroom will be way too chaotic. Let's look into the fourth challenger. The fourth challenge is different learning styles. We have visual learners, kinesthetic learners, audio learners, which is difficult to design. And to design a lesson which is suitable for everyone is quite difficult, I would say. So, as a future teacher, we must make sure to analyze the category of students that we have. Some may be visual learners, some may be kinesthetic learners, maybe some will be also audio learners. We need to make sure that we prepare slides or conduct a lessons suitable for everyone in the classroom.
So back to our first point, which is for students not listening, make lessons more engaging and interactive. So for this one, the example is a teacher may use group discussions, quizzes, videos, or maybe ask a question during the lessons. So that way, the students will stay active and focused instead of just listening. Next one, for students not interested, use fun activities and real life examples to connect lessons to their lives. So the example is during science class, science subject, a teacher shows how electricity works in mobile phones or maybe in a home appliances. So that way, by showing a real life examples to the students, it make the lessons more interesting.
Okay, let's come into the third solution for the challenges that teachers face. As I said, the third challenge was disruptive behavior of students in the classroom. So, what is the solution for this disruptive behavior? Let's look into the slide. The first solution is set classroom rules at the beginning of the term and revisit them regularly. As a teacher, we must set certain classroom rules while conducting a lesson. For example, as I said, teachers have to indicate in the classrooms that students have to put up their hands whenever it's their turn to speak or whenever it's their turn to answer the questions, and to also listen while your friend is speaking and not to interrupt while another friend is answering the particular question. Let's look into the second solution that we can give into this challenge. Use positive reinforcement such as praise, rewards, recognition when students follow the rules. Okay, as teachers, we do know when you have a student who is following all the rules, we have to reward them in such a way where they will feel appreciated. You have to give the validation to students where they will feel, all right, I'm doing something good. And so I am being rewarded for what I'm doing and how I'm behaving. And I truly trust this can shape a student's behavior as well. All right, moving forward, let's go to the last challenge. As I told you, for students who have different learning styles, what are the solutions to overcome these kind of challenges? Okay, use platforms that support multiple modalities, video tutorials for visual and auditory learners. For visual learners, you may use visuals such as images, videos, and yeah, you should also ask them to do something pragmatic. Let's say doing a presentation in the classroom or making a project which is practical enough for them to do. Let's see the third one, interactive simulations for kinesthetic learners. For kinesthetic learners, they need to be simulated. For example, they have to interact in the classroom, being engaging with friends and teachers. We will be two-way role of teaching. So that will make the class more engaging for kinesthetic learners. Last one, online forums or blogs for reflective learners. Online, for example, online forms or online activities such as quizzes, Kahoot, these are the platforms where teachers can use. These are the tools will be very handy for teachers to conduct a lesson in the classroom where they can just conduct quizzes on their LED slides and all that, and students may just join the game, have fun. So while they are having fun, they are learning something precious too. Let's go to the next slide.
So this is the causes. So we go to the problem one. Too many students in one class. So imagine in one class, maybe there's around 40 or 50 students. So one teacher cannot give attention to everyone. Maybe some of the students, maybe only half of the students will get the attention, and another half of the students will feel ignored. So when they feel ignored, and they will stop paying attention. Problem 2, teachers don't get enough help or training. For example, a teacher is not trained enough to use digital tools or maybe modern teaching methods. So the lessons will become boring since the teacher is not showing a proper way of teaching.
So let's look into the problem 3. Now we want to see into why these problems are being a problem while whenever teachers are facing challenges like previously what we have explained. So the problem number 3 is teacher may rely heavily on one teaching method. For example, not to complain, but those days when I was a student, I was taught by a traditional method where teachers don't interact with students. Teachers use one-way teaching method and whiteboard teaching method. So they do not give us hands-on activities or projects or two-way learnings where we don't get a chance to engage with the teacher. So we don't get a chance to question the teacher as well. So that is why for a teacher who is heavily relying on one-way method of teaching, I think, in my opinion, they should change the way of teaching. What you can do is you may bring engaging activities, interactive activities into the classrooms. For example, you may give them quizzes or hands on activities such as projects, interactive activities such as a debate or a public speaking, where they get an opportunity to interact with their students, to interact with the teachers as well. Okay, let's look into problem number 4. Teachers may feel pressured to cover curriculum quickly, leaving little room to adapt lessons to multiple styles. As we all know, in a school where you have lessons as much as you do have curriculum activities. So, as teachers, I think it is very fundamental, it's very mandatory to know how to manage your time. Time management is very crucial for teachers. Managing your time to know how you want to divide your lessons and how you want to divide your activities, how you may want to divide your curriculum activities as well. Let's say you are teaching in the class, you have to keep a record of your let's say you're teaching for 10 minutes and then you're giving them practice, you're giving them some worksheets to do, or you asking them to come in front and to present few topics with which you have thought. So it will take time. So as teacher, it's up to us how we want to manage this time within the classroom time given. Let's go into the next slide.
So, tips number 1, make rules and follow them in class. For example, a teacher may set rules such as no talking while the teacher is explaining, or maybe give penalties or small reminders when the rules are broken. So, tips number 2, ask students to take part in lesson and discussions. So, for example, a teacher may ask the students to share their opinions, solve problems on the board, work in pairs, which helps them to feel involved and attentive.
Okay, so we have covered challenges, we have also covered solutions, we have also covered the causes that they are facing those kind of challenges. Lastly, let's cover the tips to avoid from these problems, which will make teachers' life a bit easier. It is not a piece of a cake when it comes to avoid this kind of challenges. Okay, let's look into the third one. Allow students to show understanding in varied ways, such as presentations, written work, and projects. Okay, in my understanding, when we have done the research, we find that teaching writing, just teaching as writing, copying from the whiteboard is not the only way to teach your students. While you can also give presentations, written work, and ask them to do or come up with some projects which they are interested in, whatever topics they are. In this way, students will feel that they understand certain topics. Not to say all, but students may feel they're capable of carrying out the activity. They're capable of understanding what we have taught to the students. So for a teacher to analyze how much a student has the capability of understanding whatever we have taught is through presentations, projects, and written works. Let's look into our fourth tips. Okay, our fourth tip, combine visuals, auditory input, lecture discussions, and hands-on activities. As I was saying, you may want to combine all this into your teaching styles. Let's say a teacher may be very multitasking while she's teaching while she's teaching for auditory learners, as well she's teaching visual learners. So she's taking both activities simultaneously in one lesson. That is where teachers need to know how to conduct a lesson where all her students can have that capability, that capacity of remembering, understanding, and recalling whatever we have taught in the lesson. challenges are not only faced by teachers, but challenges are also faced by lecturers as well. So, me and my partner Afiq, we have done a very creative and a very fun activity where we went up to the lecturers in our college and we interviewed certain lecturers, and they gave their participation, where they gave their opinion towards what they feel and what they overcome and what they have done pass out their lecturing years in this college. So there is a video attached in our presentation slides. I will attach it in this video as well, so Miss Mulay can refer to that video.
A very good morning, Ms. Mulay. So today we are here with Ms. Mulay to ask few questions regarding teaching in classroom. Miss, can I know what are the common challenges that you face during teaching lessons?
Okay, thank you for the question asked. According to me, I do have issues on classroom management. Okay, I believe that even those teachers who have experience teaching more than even 10 years, they fail to manage their classroom.
Okay, Miss, can you give, as future teachers, can you give us few tips on how to bring the classroom more in a greater way?
Okay, I believe that the class has to be student-centered. Apart from that, you as a teacher, you need to know, you must come up with the interesting strategy whenever you are teaching the young brain.
Thank you so much, Miss.
Welcome, have a great day.
Good morning, everyone. My name is Muhammad Afiq, and I'm with Miss Sindhu. So, Miss Sindhu, I have one question. In your opinion, what is one of the common challenges in the classroom that teacher always faces?
Common challenges.
Yes.
Okay, regarding the students' behavior, students' moods, students' welcome. Some of them come from different type of family background, so it's a difficult challenges for teachers to handle.
Okay. In your opinion, how the teacher can solve the problem?
It's depend on the teacher's patience, how they're going to study the children's students' strength and weakness, and how the teacher is going to managing their behavior. From that, how they must say once they know their weakness, the teacher must know how to overcome their weakness and solve the problem to make the children also learn. At the same time, the teacher also will get stress by handling the stress.
Thank you so much.
A very good morning, sir. Today we have our HOA in front. Okay, sir. As let's say if you are a lecturer, what do you think the lecturers will face common challenges during their practice in the classroom?
If you're talking about when the lecturer is teaching the classroom,
Yes.
of course the first challenge any lecturers will face is the attendance of the students. The class starts 8:30 in the morning. The lecturer will expect the students to be there 8:30 in the morning, right? But if they don't come on time, perhaps the lecturer has to repeat the same thing what has been taught earlier. I mean, if you are late by 5-10 minutes, it's fine, but if you are late by half an hour, for example, you have to perhaps you have to explain again, which is not fair to the students who came at 8:30 because they have listened 2 times. Okay, number one. Number two is definitely the attendance of the students. Sometimes they don't come to class, alright? So when they still don't come to class, how can we confirm that the student understood what has been taught? Yeah, you can read the Google Classroom, but still, the physical attendance of the classroom is very critical. Number three, submission of assignments.
Yes, correct.
And also sitting for mid-semester exam and final exams. If you don't come for your mid-semester exam, right? If you don't come for your mid-semester exam and also your final exams, or if you don't submit your assignment on time, you will not be able to get your marks, on time, like the other students.
Yeah.
Okay. So if you ask me, basically, these are the very critical situations faced by any lecturers. Not really in Newton, but I think generally in the industry.
Okay, sir. What are the tips that you can suggest?
Attitude, discipline, commitment, teamwork. Those are my keywords, which you should be able to fill in the blanks.
That's a very great answer, sir. Thank you so much, sir, for having us.
Right now, I'm here with Miss Wanda. So, Miss Wanda, I have a few questions. So, my first question is, in your opinion, what is one of the common challenges in the classroom that teacher always facing?
Okay, one of the most challenging things that happen in the classroom is, I would say, the students' motivation. This is because when students come to the classroom, they come to the class and they were like, I want to study. So they don't have any sort of motivation that they want to study or continue on, or they would feel like, what's the point of studying, kan? So they feel like it's a waste of time. And another issue is a challenge is, the second one is student engagement, because in the classroom we have multiple types of students. We have active students, passive students, and so on. But most of the time the students will be like very passive and they will like not engage with the materials that the teacher give. Like you ask a question and then the students will be like quiet, right? So these are the most common challenges that I believe teachers face and will always continue to face. One of the solutions that I think would help to overcome these challenges, and they can work for both actually, is first of all, the teacher needs to be create something or an activity that can increase their interest. For example, like come into the class is not just like, come to the class, the students like sit down and learn and write or so on, but they maybe can do like some sort of activity like playing bingo games, card games, or even like role playing and so on in classroom. So while they are learning, they are also doing something active. So this helps with their interest, and also they can be quite motivated to want to learn, because if the classroom is fun, of course you yourself you want to go to the classroom if it's fun, right? Solution is doing like when you do like work, like homework or classwork, instead of doing like individually, try to do it like at least pair or group work. So that way this can increase the students' engagement, like they can talk with each other and you encourage them to do like more discussions and so on. Students who are introverted, they will slowly like get into the rhythm of like speaking out their like ideas and so on. So I hope that answers your question.
That's very good explanation. Thank you so much. Good afternoon, everyone. It's me again, Afiq. I'm here with Miss Sophia. So, for Miss Sophia, I have 3 questions. The first question is, in your opinion, Miss, what is one of the common challenges in the classroom that teacher always facing?
I think the common challenges will be if the students talk too loud, because it will eventually disturb the whole class.
Okay. Good example, Miss. And for the second questions, how do you think teachers may solve their problems?
How teachers may solve the problem is by perhaps talk to the students, or maybe get engage more with the students, or having a lot of activities, because I believe that the students this century they prefer more on activities instead of having only macam written communications.
Perfect answer, Miss. Thank you very much, Miss.